All right. Good evening. How's everybody doing? It is SEC After Dark. It is Wednesday night. So you know what time it is. The greatest show on the face of the earth.
Oh.
No, that's the 99 Rams. We can't compete with that. I know I'm not athletic enough to compete with that. But if you want to use that,
think of the 2000 Rams, but that's just me.
But if you want to make that reference, Steve, you're Kurt Warner. I'm Marshall Falk. Jake, you are Isaac Bruce, and Jeb, you're just a dude.
Torrey Holt. He's Torrey Holt.
He's Torrey Holt.
Me and Jeb's a little bit too big to be Torrey Holt and Isaac Bruce, but anyway, we can be offensive linemen.
Orlando Pace.
Yeah, Orlando. Yeah, there we go. Yeah,
one of you is Orlando Pace, and the other one is who's the defensive lineman?
My 2000 Rams information is just gone.
Yeah.
It was the 99. It was the 99 season 2000 Super Bowl.
We don't talk about the 99 season 2000 Super Bowl. We talk about the year after when the Saints beat them in the playoffs. The other one, if we talk about the Rams in the Super Bowl, that's going to open up some stuff.
Kevin Carter was on that line. I liked him because he was fighting for a little while.
There you go.
2 yards.
But anyway, we're not 90s NFL After Dark. We are SEC After Dark. We have a great show coming at you, presented by DeadSoxy.
Yes, DeadSoxy.
DeadSoxy. Get Soxy. Hey there, college sports fans. Show your allegiance down to your socks. Well, DeadSoxy's got you covered with vibrant socks in your team's colors, whether it's purple and gold, crimson, or cardinal. DeadSoxy is the place to go. Did you find a pair you like? Well, what you need to do is subscribe for big-time perks like a constant 25% discount, early access to exclusive, you heard that right, exclusive styles, and free shipping. Plus, we welcome new members with a free gift. Who wouldn't like a free gift? So why wait? Find your new favorite socks at DeadSoxy.com right now. And also, stay soxy, my friends.
Yeah, and I should let everybody know it's time to get locked on pickles, folks. Stewart's Cajun Dill Pickles, that is. They're offering a variety of Cajun spice products like pickles, green beans, okra, even carrots, and asparagus. This is a family-owned company, homemade on the coast of Mississippi. They've been pleasing pickle lovers for over 20 years now, and they've become truly the South's favorite pickle. They're the best pickles you'll ever have, a strong dill flavor with a Cajun punch. No over sour taste. This being a small business, they strive to keep the produce fresh and local from the start, keeping the final pickle product extra crisp and crunchy. You can find these pickled products online at pickledstore.com or at your local Rouse's Market or other local southern stores near you. Pretty much all along the Gulf Coast in Mississippi and Louisiana, you can find it. Be sure to like Stewart's Cajun Dill product on Facebook and Instagram. These pickles, okra, and beans today. Try them. You will not be disappointed. Stewart's Cajun Dill Pickles, the South's favorite pickle.
Be sure you refrigerate them too.
Yeah. Yes. By the way, I got a buddy of mine who ordered some, and he ordered some pickles, ordered the okra, and he also ordered quail eggs as well. They also have quail eggs.
Well,
so,
really?
Yeah.
Pickle eggs. All right.
I need to talk to Justin about that. Like, how? I don't know. I don't think I want quail eggs. I mean, that's not my jam.
Steve, if you play your cards right, he can hire you to go extract the quail eggs.
Oh,
you could be that guy. That'd be a fun job. We are also presented by BetOnline.ag. Our spreads are presented by BetOnline.ag. It's your number one sports gambling website. If you need anything in that field, BetOnline has you covered. From live picks to parlays to single bets, prop bets, futures, they've got it all. NHL just kicked off yesterday, so you can get in on that action as well. Jake acted like an Auburn fan last weekend when I told him that I took Alabama as a part of a parlay. And with my recent luck on parlays, it wasn't probably the best idea, but I did actually hit on that part of my parlay. LSU came through, Alabama came through, the two newest members in the Red River Shootout came through on the over. Just needed Washington State to hit a money line. They didn't even have to cover a spread. They just had to hit the money line, and they did not with 4 turnovers. So I lost out on $100 because of Wazoo, not because of Bama, not because of LSU, not because the craziness at the end of the game almost had me not cover the over on the Red River Shootout. but it was crazy. Anyway, so what you need to do, head to betonline.ag, enter the promo code Bleav, that's BLEAV, get your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline.ag is where the game starts. So Jake was, unfortunately for you, Jake, I did not get diarrhea on the interstate stuck in unfortunately for you, that did not happen. But I did have a pretty good Saturday. We'll talk about why here as we roll on. But first and foremost, the reason why you told me to get diarrhea on the interstate with traffic and no exit in sight is because Texas A&M was playing Bama, and Texas A&M does what A&M does.
Oh my goodness, that was a heck of a choke job, wasn't it?
Yes,
8-4.
Texas 8-4, they're back.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's Texas back, it's Texas 8-4 back. I think Texas 8-4 is back.
Yeah, I agree.
Because honestly, at the end of the first half of Texas A&M, they were doing everything that needed to happen. They were in complete control. Their defense was dominating. And all of a sudden, Alabama's like, we're just going to keep picking on that cornerback. And when Jalen Milroe is the person that designed, we're going to beat you with him throwing the football. There's a real weakness that Nick Saban and the Alabama team picked out that everybody else probably wasn't paying attention to. And Texas A&M secondary, it's no bueno.
Yeah,
No.
it's terrible.
They had no shot at covering my cousin Jermaine Burton. They had no shot. He was at double moves, single. I mean, he was open all freaking night. And Jalen Milroe, they gave him just enough time to throw it to him. And it was great.
I can't figure out who's more fraudulent. Them or Orlando Arcia. I'm not sure.
It's a toss-up at this point.
Yeah.
Why would you poke the Bryce Harper bear? Why would you do that?
Especially in Philly.
Yeah. When that play, by the way, that environment, I want to see another Phillies game.
You can't. So here's the thing with Phillies fans.
You will.
As nasty as they are, you can't fault them creating good sports environments. Like, at least for game's sake. Now, like, if you're an opposing fan in the stadium, it's probably going to be a miserable experience for you. But they are very not hospitable in good ways and bad ways. But, yeah, it's a great environment.
Yeah, and they do the job at the Braves. Which
Trolling.
oh my goodness, it's fantastic. It was like, okay, this is great. Because remember, everybody needs to remember, all four of us grew up in the era of all the Braves games being on TBS.
Right.
So you either became a Braves fan like these three people, or you didn't, which is me.
My first Braves game, I lived like 20 miles from the stadium. So my first Braves game that I remember was a World Series game. I was in first grade, 91 World Series against the Twins, Smoltzy on the mound. We won 3-2. I probably went to several before that, but I don't remember them. That was the first one I actually remembered. I was 7 years old. It's phenomenal.
Yeah. It was something else.
Had me hooked, man.
Well, I mean, you grew up where you were. You didn't really have a choice to begin with.
No.
But, Jake's being from Alabama, Jeb from Tennessee, and me from Mississippi.
I say Jake didn't have much of a choice either, being in Alabama. I mean, he wasn't – they weren't getting – Jake, correct me if I'm wrong here, but you probably weren't getting many Reds games or Cardinals games. In Tennessee, you got a lot of – I mean, we all got Cubs games too, but you all got Cardinal games and Red games, right, up in Tennessee?
Not that I ever saw, but I was always watching the Braves.
I know a lot of Reds fans here because they say that's some of the games they got. Some of the
my grandparents and parents watched the Braves, so I did. Yeah.
Right.
I grew up in it. I had no chance either.
The regional stuff was Cardinals and Reds, and then the national stuff was Cubs and Braves.
I don't remember ever seeing a Reds game, which is kind of weird. I remember seeing the Cardinals, but
I grew up watching
Cubs.
You had the choice. You were either a Braves fan or a Cubs fan, and I went the Cubs direction. And then whenever the strike happened, I went away from the Cubs. And now I'm going all in with the Detroit Tigers.
You're a lifelong fan since March.
Look at that hat.
Detroit.
Did you? I saw a clip. Speaking of Detroit, I saw a clip on social media. It's probably old. I don't know when it happened. It happened at some point this year, but they they intentionally hit the umpire. Like the catcher just straight up got out of the way.
Was it
I saw something about that.
Was it Angel Hernandez?
Probably. I don't know who it was. That was a young dude.
Oh, okay.
It was a young dude. He did something with Miguel Cabrera, rung him up on some sort of bad pitch, and the coach came out. Series of bad calls, I think, against the Tigers, and the Tigers said, "Okay, we've had enough." This was in Cleveland. The Tigers said they had enough, so the catcher called the old middle finger one signal, and he just straight up, "Oh, I just missed it," and hit the umpire right in the freaking collarbone.
You see what Rick said? He said his church choir sang the national anthem at the Braves game one time. He was in it. That's pretty cool.
Oh, that is cool.
It is.
Yeah.
Dude, I had this friend. He's now like 6'3", but he probably weighs the same as he did when we were this age. He's now like 6'3", probably still 100 pounds.
Oh God.
But he's string bean. But we used to in Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, like he was tiny. Now I hit my growth spurts really early, so like I couldn't blend in like he could. He was tiny.
Wait. Growth spurt, Corey.
Believe it or not, before 8th grade, I used to be taller and bigger than everybody, and then I stopped, and everybody kept going. True story. I had
how
5th grade.
How tall are you now?
I'm 5'8". I was 5'5" in 5th grade.
Oh my God! I'm 5'11". God, I didn't realize I was taller than you.
Yeah, we can ask the voice of God how tall she is, but we don't want to.
Yeah, I'm 5'8". And I was 5'8" in 8th grade. I grew 3 inches between 5th and 8th grade, and that was it. So
real quick before we get going, where my wife and Jeb went to high school, it was basically a women's basketball high school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And my wife was like in 6th grade and like 5'9". So obviously they tried to get her to do that. And this is the same high school where like MTSU's women's coach was at that time.
Oh, wow.
And they're sitting there doing that. And if anybody's met my wife, she's the most unaggressive person.
Is that his name?
Yes.
Most
not aggressive person you'll ever meet. So especially on the field, and they made Becky go like from person to person, like screaming in their face to get her fired up.
Roaring like a bear. They made me roar like a bear to these other girls. It was awful.
Seems like an odd tactic.
Yeah.
It didn't work. Spoiler alert.
And so Becky just quit growing. The joke was on them.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'll show them.
Yeah. Like I said, I quit growing. So to finish my really long story, before you didn't believe that I hit a growth spurt like in 4th grade, I grew facial hair in 5th grade. My friend would sneak down into like the dugout level. He stuck in the Ted Turner's box, like field level box, like several times. Like he sat there for multiple innings, and I couldn't sneak in because I couldn't hide. He could hide. He could get in a group of people and just hide and weasel his way down. He sat right next to the on deck circle for like 6 innings, one game.
Dang.
Wow.
And nobody said a word to him. Then they finally realized it, and they made him go back to his seat. But they're like, I think they were just kind of impressed how he got in there. So
I've never been able to blend in. So
I've been to more Braves games than any other sporting event in my entire life. Maybe even combined.
Well, no.
Just so
I've been to several, but been to a lot of Titans games too.
Yeah, mine's probably, believe it or not, mine's probably Titans games. Well, if you're not counting Ole Miss.
Mine's Braves by far, and then Hawks, actually, because I worked there for like 2 years, so that one's kind of
cool.
easy. I don't know if that counts, but
I would count it. I've only been to 2 Grizzlies games, but they were fun. We lost them both.
By the way, this year, Oregon is wearing throwbacks, and they're actually going to wear their original UO jerseys that they used to wear, and they're calling them throwbacks, but they've worn so many combinations over the years, it just doesn't even look right.
God.
Yeah,
I'll
what's
see
a
that.
throwback for? Like a throwback for them
Yeah.
is wear like the ones they wore 2 weeks ago.
Right.
Well, this is a true one. This is like a Dan Fouts throwback.
Oh, like
that's old.
way far back.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Like the UO on the helmet, the yellow helmet, green jersey,
Oh, I like
yellow
that.
pants.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like the bright green,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like
Yeah.
the old school bright green though, where it's like you could tell it's like not the electric green that they wear now.
Yes.
Those are cool. I like when Utah does that too with the double use,
Mm-hmm.
The U.
the UU, the stuttering U, because it's there twice.
All right,
Speaking of,
well-
hey, I want to address this before we get into SEC. This is we're going to go ACC after dark for a minute. Sorry to cut you off, Steve. We're going ACC after dark. Did you guys see
Yes.
Mario Cristobal?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Yes.
What in the? I can't. Okay, I can't say what I really want to say, but why? Why do you not kneel the ball there? Why?
You know what the best part of this is?
What?
It's not the first time it's happened.
I know.
He did it in Oregon. Did it in
he
Oregon
did it in
too.
Oregon.
Mhm.
Yeah. Like in 2018, I think, right? Against
Yeah.
If
Stanford.
that has happened to you in the past, how would you ever let that happen again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he did.
He did against Stanford, and they went down and won in overtime.
That
Mhm.
is coaching malpractice.
Yeah.
That's like
They kicked the
why?
field goal to tie, then won in overtime. Yep.
You can take a knee. They can't stop the clock. Like there is no reason.
It was under 40 seconds to begin with, wasn't it?
It was all about about greed. It was just
It was.
greed.
Yep.
Hoping maybe the kid popped through, and they. I mean, what was the line in that game?
No, that's a good
I think it was
question. I don't
minus
know.
6.5, but
Yeah, so they would have covered.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he must have
Yeah.
had something on it then.
Mm. Something
Wow.
fishy's happening.
Oh, well,
That wouldn't shock me one bit if we knew he had some action on that
Mhm.
game. Would not
Well-
shock me with that move. Like I just nothing else explains it. I mean, I hate to be tinfoil hat conspiracy theory guy, but nothing else explains it.
well,
The
I don't even
funny-
think Jimbo would do that as much as I hate Jimbo.
Jimbo is chasing points in a game that's basically a pick 'em. They're trying to steal possessions and all that. If you can get 3 points against Alabama, you take 3 points against Alabama, because if they stop you, it's over.
mm-hmm.
I mean, that was incredibly dumb.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a lot of coaching malpractice going on in that A&M game, second half especially. Good Lord,
Yeah.
like they couldn't adjust their secondary. They all of a sudden couldn't get pressure on Milrow. I mean, their defense just went into total cluster blank, and their offense, they get down on the freaking 2-yard line. They can't punch it in. Bama's defense stood on their. I mean, I'll give credit to Bama's defense too, but from the 2-yard line at home, after a huge play that got you down there, which was a good call actually by the ref. You should have capped that drive off and made that thing a game, but you didn't.
Yeah, it's a weird situation. Alabama and Nick Saban's superpower. If nothing else, if you want to think about nothing else that happens with Alabama, the superpower they have is when you go into the game and treat it like you're an underdog, they will treat you like you're an underdog, and they will just suffocate you. And that's what happened in that second half. Texas A&M didn't think they could win the game, and Alabama made sure that was the truth.
Yeah, it's like the Tiger Woods effect in golf. Like all he had to do was show up, and you're going to be intimidated just playing with him. Like guys that play with him just fall apart. Some of the best golfers in the world, they get paired with him on a Sunday in a major, and they fall apart. Same with teams that get in these games with Alabama. A lot of times those teams will fold. Every once in a while, it's not a perfect thing, but every once in a while, Alabama loses because that's what happens sometimes. But for the most part, for a large part, it was, and all but one time against unranked opponents out of like 120 tries, they've only lost one of those games to an unranked opponent. And
Ranked opponent. Yeah.
A&M's not ranked. They weren't ranked.
They weren't this last time?
No,
No, there wasn't.
Oh.
They weren't ranked.
no, they can't get any respect after losing to Miami and after what
Yeah.
happened to Miami.
I
Yeah.
guess that's a good point.
So Steve,
Yeah.
are you officially off of the train?
The A&M train?
You were
I'm on the train for anybody that can beat Alabama because Ole Miss needs somebody to beat Alabama.
Yeah.
And they can't do it.
I do.
And I think what I'm realizing is other than Georgia.
Can
Georgia
you
doesn't
get-
count. Yeah, Georgia's in a class by themselves. I'm not talking about Georgia. I'm beginning to wonder if the best chance to beat Alabama was the Ole Miss game.
Probably. I don't think LSU can do it.
No,
Yeah,
I don't think
LSU
they
can't cover air right now.
They'll beat them like a freaking drum, man.
Yeah, that
Mississippi
troll
State
account
couldn't do it.
that troll account that is basically copying Big Game Boomer because they figured out how to do those lists to market and get engagements on Twitter.
Mhm.
Like the college football Blue Bloods account on Twitter or whatever it is, said that LSU was going to go, they were going to run the table and go 10-2 and go to the SEC championship game. And I was like, whoa. What makes you think a team that barely beat Arkansas, barely beat Mizzou, and lost to Ole Miss is going to go win in Tuscaloosa?
Yeah, no.
They'll
They're
get beat
not.
by Missouri. Do they play Missouri this year?
They already did. They got beat last week.
Yeah.
By
that's
10.
right.
And that was
No.
a pick six at the very end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they struggled with Missouri.
They
They're
struggled
gonna-
with Arkansas.
They struggled with Arkansas. Like they needed overtime to beat Arkansas, but they're going to get destroyed. Oh my God, Alabama's going to destroy them. It's going to be ugly.
Yeah, no. Maybe the Iron Bowl just because that gets weird, but I mean they're a lot better than Auburn. I don't think
Auburn.
Tennessee's the best chance for them to lose
That-
again this season, and they're
I
not going to lose to
can-
Tennessee. So.
Yeah, I can see that game getting weird. The Iron Bowl.
Yeah, you never know with an Iron Bowl.
Is
man.
it in Auburn, Jake?
It
Yes.
is.
Yeah,
I can see that game getting really weird.
I
Kinda
mean,
like the Georgia game.
a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean that
Yeah,
place
yeah.
has some weird voodoo in there.
It's got a
But,
voodoo.
but it's a situation where if they lose to Auburn, if they go undefeated till the Auburn game, there's essentially no way that they can lose the SEC. It'll already be clinched by that point. It won't matter if they win the game or not. So if it gets weird, all that's at stake is their playoffs because if they lose again, they're not going to the playoff. But
Playoffs.
as far as the SEC goes, it just won't matter.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I know Ole Miss fans are going to root for every team on Bama's schedule from here on out, but I for the last SEC championship, I want the two best teams, whoever that is. And it right
It
now
is
it looks
not
like
the last SEC championship. They're still doing that next year.
Right.
for divisional purposes.
Oh.
Yeah,
And its current format. I should have finished my sentence. In its current format,
Yeah.
I want the last SEC championship in its current format to be the two top teams. And
Let's go
right
back
now,
to
this-
ACC after dark, and Brent Key got his third win against a ranked team on the road.
That's
Buster
amazing.
Faulkner,
Yeah,
called a good game.
probably a really good game.
Yeah.
I actually, because Georgia was just completely manhandling and dismantling Kentucky. I flipped over to that game a lot, especially during commercial breaks, halftime, and then in the fourth quarter of the Georgia game. I said, "This game's over." Clicked it over there, ACC Network, and man, Georgia Tech is pretty. They made a change at defensive coordinator, and they put in Kevin Shearer as defensive coordinator.
It's worked a little bit.
They've taken the
little
weightlifting
bit.
bars off
Yeah,
of the
That's a
sideline.
lot.
Yeah, they took the lifting bar. They got rid of all the Waffle House cups in the building.
Mhm.
What I love is like Brent Key wears a freaking short sleeve hoodie. I mean, he looks like he's all about freaking football, man. Like he's not some like marketing guru genius guy. He's just out there, man. We're gonna put a product. You could tell, man, those players just love playing for him. This is weird for me to be gushing about Georgia Tech, but Brent Key was the right move.
Yep. I agree.
Hey, Chauncey, no, they will not go to the SEC championship game, but Ole Miss's best path to the playoff would be to go 11-1. That would include a win over Georgia and Athens, and will be
Oof.
Georgia's first SEC loss in like 14 years. So that would probably be enough to get it done that
We're
way.
currently sitting on a 27-game win streak.
Yeah. I'm just hoping that they're overlooking and getting ready for the Tennessee Volunteers, because after a huge game against Missouri and with a huge game coming up with Tennessee, there's no sense that they even need to pay attention to the Ole Miss Rebels.
Yeah, that's that rat poison you're trying to sell. It ain't gonna work.
I'm hoping Ole Miss can somehow give them 37 separate small temporary injuries so they don't have all those players for the Tennessee game. We'll see. We'll see.
I don't ever wish anybody get hurt, Jeff. Come on.
That's why I said small. Like, just miss a game. That's all I'm saying.
Like a hang.
Nothing bad.
Like
Jeb's getting his mustard pack for Tuscaloosa. He's got a golf ball. He's ready to go.
Yeah.
That's right.
Hey,
right.
Driving range owners, if you see Jeb Beecham in your vicinity, make sure you check his pockets. And
you better get them balls up real quick.
Be out there practicing. I won't even have golf clubs. I'm just chucking those things out there.
Hey, it's like, I know Joe Milton was playing in the game, but whoever got that from the stands to Lane Kiffin's foot, that was an arm.
I know. We were given a goal. This is how we should do that. Everybody, this is what you should be doing. He nailed that guy from the top stands. Yeah.
And you look back, he was 40 yards away, and it was like Joe Milton's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Yeah.
Gotta love that, man.
But after all of this is all going to be over, the SEC championship game is going to be Georgia and Bama again, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be probably Georgia and Bama for the foreseeable future in the new format. But then again, watching that Red River shootout, man, Oklahoma. Oh my God, dude! Like,
I was impressed.
That was a good freaking game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't wait for them to come into the league next year.
I don't think anybody lost that game. I just think that they just ran out of time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like for them to go back and forth the way they did, and for the way that game finished. I mean, I know that's a freaking gut punch for Texas, losing the way they did down the stretch, just giving up those big chunks of yards. But I mean, good Lord, man! Just as an outsider, that game was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was just outright awesome.
Go ahead, Jeff.
I was just saying, are they basically both taking a bye after this? Looks like they're just not going to play this week.
I think you're right.
Everybody needed a break after that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no doubt, dude. Yeah, Venables, man, say what you want, but he's got them chugging along in year two. I'll be honest, I didn't know what Oklahoma was truly capable of because they hadn't been tested yet, but they're tough, man. I'm a big fan of Dylan Gabriel. Big fan.
Yeah, he's really good. And look what's happening over at Clemson right now without Brent Venables. So
that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they're falling apart.
DJ Uyunglele.
Yeah.
Dark horse Heisman candidate, man. He's got it going on at Oregon State, man. That's impressive.
And Cade Klubnik is just an average dude. He's like the Jeb Beecham of playing quarterback.
And he's got all the talent in the world, could produce so many things, but he's just a dude.
Mm-hmm.
Who am I talking about, Jeb or Klubnik? I don't know.
Yeah. Both.
But it seems as Georgia got their groove back a little bit, man. They were like, okay, I'm tired of like listening to all this stuff, so we're just going to jump on Kentucky early and just not let up and play like we're supposed to be playing.
Well, you know what that game was? This is what that game was.
A message?
You remember, I think, was it 2009 or 2010 when Georgia wore the black jerseys against Alabama?
8.
2008. That's what that game was. It was somebody that everybody thought Georgia was going to win that game against Alabama, and Alabama came out and it was 35-0 at halftime. That's what that game was. They reminded Kentucky who Kentucky was.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, settle down. You're cute.
Settle down, guys. You're good.
Yeah.
You ain't us. Carson Beck was dealing, dude, from the get-go. That play, like the play calling was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
The defense was fired up, dude. Like,
what was crazy was, I think it was in the second quarter. It was like on a third down play, and that number 0 for Kentucky. You know, he batted the ball down himself, and then like hit the tackle. And after the play was dead, I mean, the whistle was blowing and everything, and I'm like, dude, what are you doing? I mean, you just called. Yeah, it was stupid. You just cost your team, and then Georgia just went on down and scored after that.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, they had Georgia stopped like that.
Yeah,
Georgia was going to punt.
Yeah,
like one of the first punts of the game, like deep into the second quarter.
Yeah, I'm
But
like,
yeah,
you're the one that knocked the ball down, and you hear the whistles blowing. He just went ahead and just laid out the tackle too. I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
Must have been some serious trash talk.
Had to be.
You're in a situation where the Big Ten gets the CBS game, CBS gets the Big Ten. That's the direction they're going. You can't tell me them going to the Georgia Vanderbilt game with all that construction site and all of that is not intentional.
Yeah.
I simply do not believe in coincidences, and I don't care if it's a secondary doubleheader game on CBS. Vandy should never be on CBS. It should be the 4:00 game, but on the other side of the CBS game.
CBS Sports Network.
What is crazy is both Georgia and Alabama both play at 11 o'clock this week.
Yeah, but our Arkansas's offense is. I'll put it like this: if
Dan Enos,
it's Dan Enos, he ruined it.
It's a kitty scoop of vanilla, is what it is.
Yeah,
at Baskin Robbins.
We called that. We called that.
And Sam Pittman, unfortunately, is going to take the fall for it.
I know.
Yeah,
that's a terrible. That was a terrible decision.
One thing that you'll notice when you watch this game is you're like, how did Arkansas's offensive line get this bad under Sam Pittman?
Right.
Yeah,
it is horrible.
Scheme,
they can't block right now.
It's scheme. They're doing nothing to help them out.
Right.
You know, it's sad, really, because when they had Bryles, they were good. It's scheme. Like they can't. Like teams can load up because, well, they can load up.
Sam Pittman did hire him. That's unfortunate, but true.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It wasn't his best decision. It's going to cost him, unfortunately. But
I know.
I think
Sam Pittman.
I think Sam Pittman will be fine. I think he can get another head coaching job somewhere. He did good enough job at Arkansas with what he started with.
Yeah.
To get them even to that point, but
you can't go 9-7-4 wins. That's trending the wrong direction with a quarterback that is going to have basically all of your quarterbacking records.
Yeah, that's not a
and a really good running back.
Yeah, Sanders will put up big numbers too. You're right.
Yeah,
but there'll be a G5 program that hires him. I mean, hell, if Butch Jones can get an Arkansas State job, I mean, anything's possible, right? But which I mean, Sam Pittman could just go right down the road because that job will be open. But
wait, just a second. Here we go. Stacey, no. As somebody that watched them, no.
I don't even know who they got after Alabama.
They'll beat State. They probably won't beat Auburn.
They got Florida and Missouri.
They definitely won't beat Mizzou.
Dude, Auburn's good. Auburn is a quarterback away from being really dangerous.
Yeah, but we say that about them every year.
Yeah.
And never find that quarterback. Well,
no, that's been the problem. They haven't been able to find the quarterback.
Scam Newton.
They're going to be an 11-point home dog next weekend. And it's weird to think that Ole Miss is going to be 11 points favorite on the road at Auburn.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. But they'll play you tough. And if Ole Miss can put them away early, it'll be a cruise. But if you let them hang around, Georgia let them hang around. That's the key. That's the key with Auburn. You can't let them hang around. Their defense gets fired up. Their fans get into it. They can run the ball. Jarquez Hunter is a really good runner. Like they have a really good run game. They do some good things with the RPOs and some of the option stuff that they do. They just don't have a guy that can really push the ball downfield when you need it.
And they don't have any
we called that too.
And they don't have any receivers.
Yeah.
But they're really good at running the ball. They're really good at stopping the run. Their secondary is okay. They can't cover tight end. I can tell you that much.
Run a lot of people cover Brock though.
Run a lot of in-breaking routes, and they won't be able to handle that. But if Jackson Dart can finally find the middle of the field, I know that's your favorite misconception, Steve.
Oh, against LSU, dude, absolutely balled out.
I know.
It's one of the. I took a victory lap for a week. There's Ole Miss fans that are still pissed off at me for taking a victory lap after that. But like Jackson Dart got injured on the second play against Arkansas, and that's the reason it was as close as it was. Yeah, he took a helmet in like the thigh area. and it's swollen. So
I was watching
kind of mess with him.
I was watching JJ Watt on the Pat McAfee show today, and he showed a picture when he got hit going up to block a pass, and running back cut his legs. He showed a picture of his leg after the locker room. His entire thigh, from basically where his nuts are all the way down to his knee, was just completely black with some shades of blue. Like it was. I was like, oh my God, dude.
Blue balls suck.
No, didn't get his balls, but his entire leg outside of that was. Yeah, that was
all right.
Oh, is it time?
Yeah, I think it's time. Time for some
picks?
Picks.
Picks. I gotta make those.
The Stewart's Cajun Dill Pickles picks.
Do your read real quick.
Okay, give me just a second to bring it up.
He said no.
It is time to get locked on pickles. Stewart's Cajun Dill Pickles, that is, offering a variety of Cajun spice products like pickles, green beans, okra, even carrots, and asparagus. This family-owned company, homemade on the coast of Mississippi, Stewart's Cajun Dill Pickles have been pleasing pickle lovers for over 20 years now, and they have become the South's favorite pickle. Forget Wickles. You want Stewart's. These are truly the best pickles you'll ever have, a strong deal flavor with Cajun punch, no over sour taste. This being a small business, they strive to keep the produce fresh and local from the start, keeping final pickle product more extra crispy and crunchy. You can find these pickle products online at pickledstore.com or at your local Rouse's Market or other southern stores near you along the Gulf Coast of Mississippi. Be sure to like the Stewart's Cajun Dill Pickles product on Facebook and Instagram. Try these pickles, okra, and beans today. You will not be disappointed. Stewart's Cajun Dill Pickles, the South's favorite pickle.
Very, very good. Well, we got a lot of good pickle picks, and while we're making picks, I'm going to try to find us a bonus game.
Oh,
of course you are.
Because that's what I do. A bonus game outside of the conference. Maybe an ACC game, since we did ACC After Dark a little bit today. But our first game is at the Bob the Builder construction site here in Nashville, the rubble pile that is whatever they're calling that place these days. Georgia is 31.5-point favorites on the road at Vanderbilt. Looks like we're gonna go bottom up. So I'll kick it off, and then we'll go from last place up. Cassie's quickly catching up with me, but so I'm gonna start it off because I had a rough week, 3 and 4. Still in last place. So I'm gonna go with Georgia here. 31.5-point favorites. They haven't really covered a spread all year until last week. But for some reason, Kirby enjoys running the score up on Vanderbilt. So I'm going to use that as my motivation to pick Georgia. I hammered the over last week on the Kentucky game and almost hit because I played it in a parlay. But if I'd have just played it as a straight bet, I definitely would have hit that. But I'm taking Georgia. So Jake, you and the combination of Cassidy are next. What you got, man?
Even though I lead, but since Cassidy's second to last, I guess I'll go now. So anyway, we're picking Georgia. That's a big spread, but I think Georgia covers this very easily because, like you mentioned, Corey, I don't know what it is about Curry, but he loves putting up a lot of points on Vandy. I just don't know if it's because he just, fourth quarter they just run the ball a lot and Vandy still can't stop them. I don't know what it is, but they put up a ton of points on Vandy, and that's going to be the case this week as well. So give us the Dogs.
All righty. Becky.
All right. I cannot stand being at the middle of the pack. Call me Lane Kiffin. This is going to be my week. It's 4th and 12 on my own 15. I'm going for it. Vandy's going to cover.
Oh, wow.
I'm picking Vandy.
Okay. All right, Jeb.
I had more hope in Vandy at the beginning of the season because I'd seen them, put up some pretty good fights in the last couple of years. But this season, they're just not doing it. I don't know. And Georgia seems to have finally found their footing. So I'm going to say Georgia covers this one.
And this is going to sound pretty weird because I said I would not take Georgia to cover any lineup against anybody until they proved they could. Well, they proved they could last week, and they did exactly what they needed to do. But as president at the Ken Seals fan club, if you remember, kind of makes me a little bit conflicted. Although 31.5 points, it's like, hey, how many points will Vandy score? 7.
Maybe.
So can Georgia score 40 points in the game? And I think they can. So give me the Georgia Dawgs.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Our next game. Did I get everybody? I think I got everybody right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Our next game is Alabama. They host Arkansas, the aforementioned Arkansas Razorbacks. They are 19.5. Alabama is 19.5 point favorites at home. I'm going Roll Tide here. They showed me a lot. I think Milroe grew a lot after halftime of the A&M game. And it's a good thing to see because he developed a little bit as a passer. He's always a big-time weapon running the ball. I don't think really much of that is going to matter this week because I don't think Arkansas's offense is going to be able to sniff anything against Alabama's defense. So give me Alabama minus 19.5. Jake.
Yeah, we're going with Alabama. Obviously, if you sit behind me, but I really like Sam Pittman, but this year's team was just atrocious. KJ Jefferson seems like he's declined this year than what he normally does. So outside of him, and Rocket Sanders, they've just been terrible on offense, and I don't see them scoring a lot on Alabama. So I'm taking Alabama to cover by 20-24 points.
This is no reflection on Alabama in any way. But as an Ole Miss fan, I can tell you with authority, Arkansas some buttholes, and they can just ruin your day when you're not expecting it. Arkansas is covering this one, so I'm definitely taking Arkansas.
All right. She's swinging for the fences here.
She is.
Jeb?
I wish I could agree with that, but I can't. No, I think Alabama is another one that, like last week, I was thinking Georgia would finally have their week where they turned it on. I feel like this is the week for Alabama. I think they've been just coming out a little slow. They still, they still win because they're Alabama, but I think this week they finally just hit their gear and just destroy Arkansas. And I feel bad for Arkansas for it, but it's what's going to happen.
You look at a line like this, and after watching Arkansas play last week, and the offense was just terrible. They had 36 yards rushing against Ole Miss for the game. Yeah. And you wonder, it's like, okay, Alabama can probably win by 3 touchdowns easily. So, so is 31-10 doable for this offensive unit? I think it is. So give me Bama.
All right. So
this is some hard-hitting analysis we're putting on.
Yeah.
We are hard-hitting analysts, though.
Hard-hitting analyst. That's what you come to this place for. Hard-hitting analysis on all of the pickle picks here. Mm-hmm. So speaking of hard-hitting analysis, this is A&M looking to hopefully pick up the pieces, but they're going to have to do so in Knoxville as they travel to take on the Vols. Vols are 3.5 point favorites. It seems kind of low to me, but I'm going to take Tennessee in this one, especially with it being in such a low spread at home. I just think that with all that Tennessee has going on, I still think they'll be able to take advantage of this weak secondary of the Aggies. I saw a very cringeworthy Aggie yell video. I know that seems redundant, but there was another one that was put out on social media. Oh boy. But I'm taking the Vols here. I think the Vols are just a better organization. I think this is starting to unravel for Jimbo. I think Bama broke them. So give me the Vols.
Yeah, we're picking Tennessee as well. And Jeb, it feels like Alabama gave you guys, everything you need to beat the Aggies. And that's Joe Milton just bombing that ball up, 90 yards and just allowing one of the receivers run underneath it because that secondary is atrocious. So I feel like Joe Milton's about to have a big game. And give me Tennessee by, I want to say 14, 20 points.
Nice.
All right.
Yeah. Dolly Parton sounds weird.
Yeah, Dolly Parton
I want to change my pick.
Gross.
Just kidding.
I'm taking Tennessee.
Gross.
No, that was beautiful. No, I was a little worried about Tennessee coming.
I'm talking about Dolly Parton's versions. Gross.
Oh. Yeah, you can never apply the word gross to Dolly Parton.
Yes, you can.
Not
Have you seen her?
That's hey, no. Puppy Break song. That woman's a national treasure.
Not to me. Almost like
My
Taylor.
ears-
Like, are you a
My ears are
Swifty-esque, like Dolly Parton-esque? Is that what you
Yeah,
want?
exactly.
Oh,
Yeah.
my
More
God.
plastic than a Barbie doll.
Yeah.
I need
Y'all need to stop.
I quit. I'm leaving.
And that's it. We finally broke him, guys. We finally broke him.
Look, I was
Dean,
I,
that wasn't Sam Pittman that said that. That was Mark Stoops.
Yes.
That was
And
Mark
they did.
Stoops.
They did buy all the players, and yeah, that's what
Oh, yeah.
NIL is.
Right.
Legal. That's legal these days.
yes.
Guys.
The difference is Kentucky spends their NIL money on basketball players.
Right. And still finished 5th in the league.
Yeah.
God.
I don't even know where we are. Are
Go ahead. It's
Jeb.
Jeb.
I'm just taking the Vols. I don't know. No. I was worried about the Vols coming in this one because they did just lose Brew McCoy for the season, which
Yeah.
really says he's a blocking run wide receiver. Helped with their run game a lot. He was their possession guy. I'm not positive how they're going to replace him, but they've had an off week now to figure it out. So I think with 2 weeks to prepare, I feel like they're going to have this figured out. And A&M, like I said, just like you said, not going to really be able to stop the pass. So I'm taking the Vols to cover this one, although I think it'll be a close game, but maybe by 6-7.
Yeah, it's an interesting situation because you heard what I went with on the larger lines, but this is about who do I trust? Do I trust Max Johnson and Bobby Petrino and the Cheesecake Factory play sheet, or do I trust Joe Milton and his 40-yard passes? It's one of those things that could go either way. I think Tennessee gets it done through their run game because surprisingly, and people don't realize this, Tennessee's passing offense is like 75th in nationally this year right now.
Mm-hmm.
And they're leading the SEC in running the ball. And so that's probably what you need to keep an eye on.
Triple-headed monster.
Did Becky
There you
give
go.
her pick?
Yes.
Okay.
You want me to give it again?
No.
Yeah,
so
let's hear it again.
We got
Thank you.
it.
Back up.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. All right. So our next pick, Steve, I'm assuming you made your pick. I'm
Yes,
so
Tennessee.
lost right now. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. SEC Network game of the week. South Carolina. This is like the Jefferson Pilot game of the week. South Carolina hosts Florida at Williams-Brice Stadium. South Carolina's 2-point favorites at home against the Gators. This was an interesting one for me because I probably went back and forth on this one on who I was going to take. I know I didn't fill in my picks until right before this segment, but I did think about this one for a while, actually.
Anthony Richardson hurting himself doing a backflip before the game.
Yep. Mm-hmm. What it got me to was that, well, Florida, all they can really do is run the ball. But all Florida has to do really is survive until the second half, and South Carolina will fold. So for that, and it being a 2-point spread, I think Florida will win this game because South Carolina likes to fold in the second half, Jake.
We actually split in this household. I'm taking South Carolina. Cassidy is taking Florida. Not sure about her reasoning. But to me, I feel like South Carolina being at home, that will give them at least a touchdown, and then they may win by a touchdown. But I'm going to take South Carolina.
And I'm going to take Florida just because I feel like they've embarrassed themselves enough this year. Like they got to do something at some point.
And she's a super
And this will be
Steve
that week.
Spurrier fan.
Oh yeah, but he also cut South Carolina.
Yeah, so
True.
that one
and
really
walked
doesn't.
out on them halfway through. So just saying.
Georgia made sure that happened. Actually,
Yeah.
Nice.
real true story. He quit after Grayson Lambert set the record for completions in a game.
I'm about to drop some knowledge on y'all after Jeb gives his pick.
Ooh.
All right, Jeb, hit us.
I'll
with
make it fast then. These two teams are the most up and down teams right now. I don't know which one's going to show up. I'm giving it to South Carolina being the home field advantage kind of situation. So I think they'll cover this one, but just barely. I don't know. I think this is going to be a rough next about 3-4 weeks for Florida.
Okay. I am not sure that Shane Beamer has lost a football game against a team with an orange helmet recently.
Oh wow, that's a good point.
Tennessee,
Florida's going to wear white.
Like just an out of body experience. They handled Tennessee last year.
Clemson.
So much so we'll never see them wear orange helmets again. Clemson, same thing happened. I think you'll have a situation to where Spencer Rattler is going to ball out. And it's only a 2-point line. It's basically a pick 'em. So the question becomes, do you think South Carolina will win the game? I do. Give me the Gamecocks.
Mm-hmm.
You know they play 2 halves, right, Steve? And South Carolina hasn't figured that out yet.
The last time they played a team with an orange helmet was the Clemson Tigers. And they beat them in Clemson. The time before that, they played with somebody with an orange helmet. It was Tennessee. And all of a sudden, Spencer Rattler was like Tom Brady for the night.
You sound like Becky making your picks off of colors.
Florida's
What's
going.
happening?
These helmets were prettier. They're going to win.
That's why Florida's going to go stormtroopers and just mess everything up.
Yeah.
What, Dan Mullen coaching the team again or something?
Wait, when are they wearing their black uniforms? I think that's Arkansas. Florida's all black. They have the best looking uniforms outside of Ole Miss in the SEC.
No.
As far as pretty color combinations.
Wrong.
They are all
that
black.
smoky gray for Tennessee is nice.
Yeah, those are
Well, it
awesome.
is, but that's a special color. But they're normal, like Florida with their orange helmet and blue jerseys and white pants, or with the blue helmets. Yeah, just the normal strip with their total catalog. They just completely screwed it up by going all black.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, they shouldn't like.
And they did that
SEC
voluntarily.
teams shouldn't do like gimmicks outside of their color scheme.
Are they handing out thunder sticks before the game?
Yeah, I don't think teams should go outside their color scheme.
Yeah,
you could do
if Florida's wearing all black, that's like saying I'm a 10-point underdog to Tulane. That's what that says.
I think it looks cool, but it's not in your color scheme and it's beneath you, I think. Now South Carolina wearing all black, that's in their color scheme.
It's in their color scheme. That's normal.
Yeah.
But Florida, their blue helmets that they've worn, even with the script gators and the throwbacks with the F, fantastic.
So passionate about uniforms.
Yes. Because I come from the place with the best looking strip in the conference.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
Corey, I have a pick that if you haven't got an extra game yet, I've got one.
Okay. All right.
Washington versus Oregon.
I think I was going to pick that one.
Oh, so we can literally do Pac-12 after dark. All right. Got it.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, Steve, are you saying Florida's uniforms are better than like LSU's uniforms?
Yes, their total combination, because LSU has one combination.
That's all they need, and it is way better than
you sound like
Never
a
mind.
Bama
Let's
fan.
move on to the next pick. My apologies. We don't need to get into the uniform wars.
Bama fans melted down because they put houndstooth on the collar. That's the only change they made to the uniform, and it wasn't traditional enough for the Alabama fans.
Well, you got to respect that, though.
Right. Respect my authority.
Not that.
Respect.
I like LSU's.
Yeah.
I think when Ole Miss wears its traditional Navy helmets and the red jerseys, and LSU plays with their gold, white, gold, I think that's the best looking game in college football. But Florida, whenever they wear the orange helmets and the blue jerseys and the white pants, that looks really good as well.
Okay.
And that's better than Georgia's silver bridges.
Hey.
Corey's all innocently sitting over there.
It's like,
That
what
wasn't
did I do?
I'm taking strays over here.
Yeah. Me too.
By the way, FIU, their uniform tonight, their colors, by the way, that people don't know, is gold and navy blue. They just said screw it. And they're wearing all black with pink numbers trimmed in blue, like light blue.
Wow.
Why
They're
not?
trying to be Miami.
It's very Miami vibes.
Well, I mean, it fits them. I get it.
Yeah.
You said that's UTEP?
Yeah. No, that's FIU.
FIU. Well, UTEP's beating them right now, so
Oh yeah.
didn't work out.
You pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're recruiting George McIntyre. They're competing with Alabama for a quarterback.
Yeah, that's true.
Brentwood. Speaking of George
Oh.
McIntyre, Brentwood Academy is they're struggling. They've only won one game this year. For the first time in 53 years, they're going to have a losing season.
Wow. I did see that. Yeah, they were not playing well at all.
It ain't good.
53 years.
53 years, yeah.
Setting records. Good for them.
So who is really good in the academy system in Middle Tennessee?
The two best teams right now is Baylor and McCallie.
So Chattanooga.
Chattanooga.
Okay.
And then MUS, which is Memphis University School, and then Innsworth. Those are the top 4 teams.
Okay.
I think any one of those 4 teams can make a run.
Where's the state championship this year?
Chattanooga.
Chattanooga. I really don't understand why they don't play the state championship games in Nashville SC Stadium. That just makes
they didn't
too
bid
much.
it. They didn't bid for it, or they didn't
makes
enter
too
the
much
race.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think the TSSAA is in a position where they can go to Nashville SC and say, "Hey, we need your field."
just
I don't
take
think
it in.
I don't think they're there yet. they're begging Tennessee Chat to play games there, and they had a deal with Tennessee Tech for a long time. So that's the cap there. MTSU won't even do it, which I think would be a perfect spot.
Yeah, it would be.
Oh, they might as well play it in the Titans Stadium.
Well, this is get
There
rid
you
of
go.
There you go. Do like Georgia, play it at Bridgestone, but Georgia plays it in the. Georgia plays at Georgia State now, though. So
in Mississippi, they alternate between Ole Miss whenever the games in the Egg Bowls in Starkville, Mississippi State when the games in Oxford, and like every 5 years they play at Southern Miss.
Alabama, they just alternate each year to Alabama and Auburn.
Yeah, whichever one hosts it, the other one gets that game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So all right, speaking of Auburn and Alabama,
yeah,
or Auburn and LSU. Why don't we talk about that?
At least Auburn anyway.
Auburn, Alabama. We'll pick that game later, but for now, we'll settle for Auburn at LSU. LSU home favorites by 11. I'm not saying Auburn's going to win this game outright, but I do think they keep it close because of the nature in which LSU plays defense. I don't know that they can push a double-digit lead even against a team that doesn't have much of a quarterback. So I'm taking Auburn here. I think they're going to cover. 10-point game covers. So I think they're going to at least do that. I don't know about winning it outright. I mean, they have a puncher's chance, I guess. But I do think they cover.
Yeah, we're taking Auburn as well. LSU's defense is just miserable, and I feel like Auburn's run game can keep winning the game long enough. Just do not let Peyton throw 20 passes this game. You'll have a shot. That's simple. That's it. So I think Auburn probably still loses, but it'd be like a 7 to 10 point game.
And I'm taking LSU because I don't want Auburn to win. So LSU by 14.
Yeah.
I like that too, Becky, but I'm trying to win the picks.
I'm Lane Kiffin it, man. Just whatever I want this week is what's going to happen.
There you go.
I'll be leader of the pack by the end of this.
Leader of the pack. There you go. Like that song that Twisted Sister covered. I don't know who the original artist was, but I know Twisted Sister covered it.
We're not going to take it. No.
Yeah, no. I don't want it. People really know.
Yeah.
We're not going
Well, they did a really nice cover of Leader of the Pack. If you're familiar with the '60s song, oldies song, Leader of the Pack.
I wasn't born then. Steve was.
I wasn't either, but my dad listened to the oldie stations, Fox 97 in Atlanta.
My dad did.
It was the Shangri-Las, by the way. Leader of the pack. Shangri-Las.
Yeah, I was too old for that.
No, didn't listen to that hippie music back then.
Yeah.
He was listening to his swing music.
Give me some orchestra music. I need some band stuff.
Yeah. Jazz.
Big band.
Oh,
All right, where are we at here?
we are very hard. We're trying. So LSU Auburn. Okay, I am
Crashing into the rails.
Yeah, we just can't keep this one going. I don't know. No, LSU can put up points pretty fast, and I don't see Auburn being able to keep up with them. So I'm taking LSU to cover this one. I just don't feel like Auburn. I don't think it's going to be a good game for them.
Corey, you gonna put the other game up or not?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and
Don't we all
I'm
have
going to
access
go
it? I
with
thought you were putting
LSU
it
as well. This is a battle between the movable object and the resistible force. And you're going to see a situation to where LSU's offense is better than Auburn's defense, and Auburn's offense is about the same as LSU's defense. So I give me the Tigers in Death Valley.
Which
All right.
Tigers?
The LSU Tigers.
Give me the Tigers.
Yeah,
I just know Tigers are going to win. That's all I know.
Yeah. We can't be wrong on that.
If Clemson comes into the SEC, there'll be 4 Tigers in the
Oh
SEC.
my gosh.
Yeah, think about that.
Gotta love the originality of the nickname.
That and Bulldogs.
Speaking from true originality here with the Georgia Bulldogs. But speaking of originality and good-looking uniforms, Missouri travels to Kentucky. Kentucky hosting at the Big Grocery Bag. They're 2.5-point favorites at Keeneland. And judging from last week, they probably should be underdogs, but judging from their full body of work, this seems about right. It's pretty much a pick 'em. I still like Ray Davis here. I still like a lot of what Kentucky's doing, even though they took a drubbing to the Dogs. I think that was more about Georgia just letting some frustration out on a really good team. And Kentucky still has it, and I think they have it against Mizzou. I think I'm taking Kentucky minus 2.5. Jake.
Another split in the household. Cassie's taking Kentucky because they're at home, and I'm taking Missouri. I'm actually surprised how good Missouri is shown this year. I feel like if they had a little bit more depth last week, they would have beat LSU. They just don't have enough depth right now to hang with the lots of LSU's and Georgia, stuff like that. But they play hard. They play gritty. Brady Cook's a really good quarterback. So give me Missouri this week.
I genuinely tried. I just don't care about either of these teams or this game. So I'm going to pick Missouri for funsies. Missouri.
Look, I think Missouri has had a good season. They had a good win over Kansas State, and that's great. But other than that, I mean, I'm still just not bought into them completely. I'm sorry. I thought maybe last week I was a little bit. The way they played against LSU, I'm just back off that train. I know Kentucky had a terrible game, but, I mean, that's Georgia. What are you going to do? I think Kentucky comes back and wins this one fairly easily. I mean, it's not going to be a blowout, but I think Kentucky will win this pretty well. Yeah,
all I can think about, honestly, I'm with Becky on this one. I just don't care about this game.
Mm-hmm.
It's at Kentucky. That's going to be a problem. And I'm taking Mizzou in this game because their running back is named Cody Schrader, and that makes me think of Jay Schrader, and that's like the 1986 Redskins. And, and that's kind of where I am in this pick.
Mm-hmm.
All righty. Mm-hmm. So our bonus feature,
Pac-12.
as promised, Pac-12 After Dark. The Oregon Ducks travel to Seattle to take on the Huskies. The Huskies 3-point favorites at home. Michael Penix Jr. versus Bo Nix. Heisman race there. Battle for the Pac-12. I think the winner of this game, I think they go on to win the Pac-12 because I think USC is too Charmin ultra soft to do anything like winning a conference championship before they jet out to the Big Ten. So I'm taking the Huskies here because I just think they're a little bit tougher defensively. I really like Michael Penix better than I do Bo Nix. I think both teams are really, really good. Both teams are really, really physical. I just think Washington has that edge at home as evidenced by the point spread. So give me the Huskies.
Yeah. Corey, I'm with you. Cassidy is going Oregon because she really likes the Ducks. She loves the Duck. But I'm going with Washington. Michael Penix Jr. has been amazing this year. And Washington, man, they're fun to watch. Oregon's fun to watch without Danny Lanning as well. But I'm with you. I think being at home gives them just a slight edge, and I think they pull it out. So give me Washington.
I'm Team Cassidy. A, Labrador superior to Huskies any day, every day. And B, puddles. How do you pick against puddles? Definitely taking Oregon.
I don't know. Neither one of these teams have had a real test this season, so I wasn't sure what to do with this one either and how good they actually are. I know Oregon has beaten Colorado, which was good. I mean, they trounced them. That's about the only real butt kicking that Deion Sanders has had to take so far this season. But Both of them are entering a much tougher schedule where they're going to play a lot of ranked teams. I just feel like Oregon is more prepared for this game. So I'm going with Oregon to cover this one in a close game.
Yeah, and I am taking the home team at home and essentially a pick 'em. So it's basically a money line. I think Washington's probably going to win the game. As an Ole Miss fan, Ole Miss needs either Oregon or Washington to get blown out in this game. It doesn't matter which one, but they need enough to where they fall down below them. They need USC to win or to lose, and they need North Carolina to lose. And if that happens, Ole Miss wakes up in the top 10 Sunday. So that is where I'm coming from. I just think Washington's going to win this game, and I think it's probably going to be close, and Ole Miss is going to end up 11th because I think Miami's beating North Carolina, and I think also Notre Dame is beating USC. Clip it, take it down.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Put it on there.
Notre Dame's beating USC.
I
think it'll be. I think you need to smash the over on that one.
I mean, Notre Dame's offense has struggled the last 2 weeks, though.
Yeah, if they can run the power, though, they'll be all right against USC.
Yeah, that's true.
How about the speaking of high-flying offenses, Wisconsin hosting Iowa?
Oh, by the way, the College Football Hall of Fame put in some post about Hayden Fry the other day.
I saw you said you can still see Iowa's offense today.
You can still see his offense in Iowa today.
I got a kick out of that.
Good.
Yeah, it got retweeted by the College Football Hall of Fame.
That's nice.
How about this game? Georgia State hosting Marshall.
Oh, that's a good one. That's going to be a good one.
Georgia
They're both
State favored.
Yeah, they're both only lost one game so far, I think.
Yeah, Georgia State's balling, dude.
They are. And Marshall is too, though.
Speaking of teams that are balling, Arizona, man, they took USC to the wire. They're traveling to the Palouse. What do you think about that one?
I do not understand that 2-point conversion call. I mean, they did a toss sweep down there at the goal line, which they had to go for because it's the third overtime. But USC had all their men over there. It was a stupid call. Anyway.
Yeah, it wasn't the greatest call.
The Astros have gone to 7 straight ALCSs.
Oh, wow.
That's impressive.
What's impressive? They used to be in the NL.
Yeah. Oh, I remember.
They used to have really they have really cool hats now too, because they went back kind of old school. But I really like the late 90s, mid 2000s look that they had going with like the blue and the style. I kind of like that.
Remember 2001 Roger Clemens pitching for them and beating us in the NLDS.
Yeah, that was not the greatest.
No.
UCLA at Oregon State. What do we think about that one?
Oh, that'd be a good game.
And then, of course, Trent Dilfer.
Oh, I'm thinking of Cal. Never mind.
Meet UTSA.
Yes.
9.5 point favorites.
UAB. I forgot who they played last year. They killed them.
Yeah.
All right. We need to get out of here.
Yeah, we do.
All right. Well, let's get out of here then.
All
right. So here's what we're going to do. We thank you for listening. This is we hope you enjoyed our show. If you liked what you saw, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow all of us on social media at Coach Burton 36, at the Stephen Willis, at Jake Thomas TTS, and at Stolen Grin at UTK Joe.
Mm-hmm.
I get those two flipped. You can find Steve each and every day locked on Ole Miss. You can find me Bleav In Georgia Dawgs. You can follow the show at Bleav In Dawgs. You can also see me on Illegal Motion too. I'm kind of everywhere. You can follow Jake and his homie Stacey Blackwood on Tide Talk Live. I think you guys have a third guy, right?
Oh, we used to. It's just two of us now.
Jake got too big, so we had to fire somebody. But we thank you for listening. We thank all of you who participated in the chat. We thank our voice of God, Becky, and our other associate producer, Cassidy. Congratulations on the upcoming baby. Not them two together, obviously, but we thank our sponsors, DeadSoxy. Yeah, we thank our sponsors, DeadSoxy, Stewart's Cajun Dill Pickles, and Bet Online. So we'll see you back here next week, back and better than ever. But until then, go Dogs.
Hotty toddy.
Go Vols.
Roll Tide.